Let's continue here on BOXTOROW. We're joined by a gentleman, as a matter of fact, in his fourth season as the head football coach at South Carolina. Last year, the Gamecocks 5-7 opened the season on August the 31st at home hosting ODU. We are joined by Shane Beamer. Coach Beamer, welcome to BOXTOROW.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on with you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. The pleasure is ours. I want to start here. Camp. How is camp going to this point?
It's been great. As we do this, today's an off day for us. We had our first scrimmage a couple days ago, and great opportunity today to get caught up on some learning and get ready for what will be a big week here coming up. And we're, 19 days away from the first game, but it's been really good. Knock on wood, we've been able to stay healthy. Love the way our guys are working. It's a carryover from everything this team has been about since January. The hard work that you got to have and fortitude. And our guys have shown that since January and have continued to show it here through preseason practice so far.
What are some of the takeaways from your scrimmage?
We got we've got some mental toughness. It was hot out there the other day. We went out there at 12 noon and it was hot, and we were rolling. I mean, counting special teams plays, we got about 130 plays of football in a short period of time on Saturday. And we didn't have guys dropping out. We didn't have guys falling out because of heat and things like that, or injuries. So I think we're very tough mentally and physically. So that was really good to see, to have that many plays, and it's hot out. I think a weak-minded team would have a lot of penalties and false starts and things like that. We didn't have that. We were very clean and very efficient. Now, having said that, we got to execute better, and we didn't do a good enough job of that. But, as the head coach, there's things that you're excited about with the offense that makes you disappointed with the defense. And there's some things that you're really fire you up about the defense. But on the other hand, as the head coach, there's concerns about the offense. And that's always in a scrimmage. But like I told our team, I told them at the beginning of preseason, I really like this group. I thought we had a chance to have a really good team. And after the scrimmage on Saturday, nothing has changed in my mind.
I look at your first couple of years, a lot of success. Last year was tough. However, you ended the season winning 3 of your last 4 games. Obviously, you have to replace a guy like a Spencer Rattler, your quarterback, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But can you speak to last season and then maybe the momentum towards the end of the season that you can carry into 2024?
Yeah, disappointed, obviously, overall with the record from last season. Nobody came to South Carolina to be 5-7, and it was a disappointment. But you also, as you look back and you really analyze, okay, why did that happen, and what contributed to us having that record at the end of the season, and you make the tweaks and adjustments that you need to. And as I did that, we did that. But then I also realized that, it's a really thin line between winning and losing. And we were so close to the narrative being completely different and having a different record last season. But you woulda, coulda, shoulda all you want. We didn't. And at the end of the day, the old saying, you are what your record says you are. We've got to be better. But it has given us motivation. One, it says a lot to me about the people in this program and our culture. We were sitting there at 2-6 at one point last season, and we won 3 out of 4, and didn't just win them. I mean, there were some tough games that we found a way to win in the fourth quarter. And if you don't have the right people in your program, you're not going to do that. And disappointed we weren't able to win the last one at the end of the season as well, to finish with 6 wins and get to a bowl game. But there's been a great hunger with our team, with the momentum, like you said, winning 3 out of 4, but even more so than that, just the hunger and the resilience that our team has to come back this season because of the way that, last season left a bad taste in our mouths.
Shane Beamer, again, in his 4th season as the head football coach at South Carolina. He joins us here on BOXTOROW. Let me switch gears a little bit, Coach Beamer. Your thoughts. The SEC is so tough. By the way, you lost, I say only, and I know what you're saying, but a 10-point loss to Georgia, a 2-point loss to Florida. I mean, you had some really, really close games, as you mentioned. But the SEC and its toughness. Now you add Texas. Now you add Oklahoma to this conference. Your thoughts on the additions of these 2 teams. And then I also want to get your thoughts on the expansion of the college football playoff.
Yeah, it's a great statement about the SEC that you have two amazing programs like Oklahoma and Texas that could have gone anywhere, and they wanted to be a part of this league. It one like the SEC was the only one that wanted those two schools. This is already the toughest, was already the toughest conference in America. It's even more so now. I love it. You know, competition is a core value of our program, and if you don't want to compete against the best players and coaches, and this is not the place for you, this isn't the conference for you. You look around the NFL draft each year, there's a reason that more players from the SEC have been selected than any other conference over the last 19 years, I think. You look at the college football playoff, there's a reason that the SEC is a staple in the college football playoff, what was a 14 playoff. So I love it. You know, the best continue to get better, and that's what the SEC is. And we want to recruit players that want to compete against the best and be a part of this league. And then the playoff, I love the fact that it's expanding. I mean, I like the 14 playoff. Don't get me wrong. It's been very good for our conference. But with the 12-team playoff, it gives more teams opportunities. And I love it. And you look at South Carolina's history over the last, 10, 15 years, there's multiple years where South Carolina would have been in the 12-team playoff as well because of the way that we finished. And you look at the SEC, there's multiple deserving teams year after year in the SEC. And now it gives more teams in this conference an opportunity to get in and show what we can do. So I love it.
You know, you did receive a first place vote. I know you were picked to finish 13th, but boy, I mean, tough. I see you guys coming, right? But you received a first place vote in the media poll. I know you got to try to figure out how to, replace. I don't know if that's the correct word, but a Spencer Rattler, who's doing well, by the way, as you know, with the Saints right now. What's the quarterback situation? How's that battle coming along?
Yeah, it's been good. We obviously lose a great player, great person in Spencer. Excited for him and what he's doing in New Orleans. I've heard great things about him. I was texting with him on Friday and before his preseason game against Arizona, and I know he was really excited about the opportunity to get out there and play. And then as far as our situation goes, it's a brand new room. I mean, you look around our quarterback room, there's no one in our quarterback room that was here in our program last season. We have Lenora Sellers, I take that back. Lenora Sellers was a freshman last season in there, but he redshirted last season as a quarterback. He's back. We named him the starter coming out of the spring, knowing that the competition was going to be ongoing going into the season, which is what it is right now. Lenoris has done a really good job. Athletic, big, can run, can throw. Excited about his future. Robbie Ashford transferred in from Auburn. Love Robbie. Big, strong, athletic, can run, but also has experience starting SEC games. We brought in Davis Bevel, who transferred from the University of Oklahoma. He has started games at Oklahoma as well, so he has experience. And then we have a true freshman, Dante Reno, that we just signed in this year's recruiting class. So we're very inexperienced when it comes to playing football games at the University of South Carolina, but we do have experience in that room, having started Power 4 games over the last few seasons at other schools.
Couple of more thoughts with Shane Beamer, the head football coach at South Carolina. We appreciate the time. 15 starters returning. Now, I get it. Rocket Sanders was he was injured. He transferred to use a first-team All-SEC guy at Arkansas going back a couple of years ago. Speak to some of the personnel. Again, 15 starters returning. Sanders is back. Debo Williams was an All-SEC second-team guy at the linebacker position. And then Tonka Hemingway, also defensively on the defensive line. Just those three guys are very talented. But again, you've got some other guys that should be key for you this year as well.
No, we do. When I look at our roster, there's no question in my mind that we are deeper from a depth standpoint, better and more athletic at every single position. Now, the one you could argue is obviously we lose a high draft pick or we lose an NFL draft pick in Spencer, but we have more depth in that room and we have talent. We'll be fine at the quarterback position, just inexperienced. And then we lost a first-round draft pick in Xavier Leggett. But if you look at the overall wide receiver room, there is more depth and competition from top to bottom than there was last season in that room. So I'm excited because I feel like we're better and more athletic at each position across the board. And we bring back it's close to 30 players that have been a part of this program since 2021 that are still on our team. And that's a great statement to me about what this program's about. The players believe in this program, that they've been here not just 1 year with me. This will be 4 years with me as their head coach. So they're very invested into this program and what this program is about. And you add some of the talent, or you talk about the talent that we've added. There's no question about it. We've got all conference performers in my mind at all 3 levels of the defense. You didn't even mention our 2 safeties, Nicky Manwari and DQ Smith. I think they're 2 of the best safeties in the SEC. And we're freshman All-American type guys a couple years ago. And on our offensive line, we bring back, 2 guys that have started multiple games for us, and Ja'Kai Moore and Vershawn Lee. And there's just a lot of experience and people that are invested into South Carolina football and are eager to get out there and compete here on August 31st.
2 last thoughts. Playing for Dad, right? The Virginia Tech. Frank Beamer, the legend, built Virginia Tech out of nothing. A lot of success in the Big East, a lot of success in the ACC. Just what do you remember most about playing for Dad, the legend, there at Virginia Tech?
Yeah, great question. It was a great experience. It was something when I was in high school. I was a good high school football player. It wasn't great. I wasn't getting recruited by a lot of big schools. There were some smaller schools that were recruiting me, some FCS schools and Division III schools. And for me, it came down to, I knew I wanted to coach. Do I want to try and play football at a higher level? And if I do, that meant that I was probably going to play for my dad, and thought a lot about it, because it's not easy when your dad is the head coach and you're playing for him. So I went back and forth on it and ended up making that decision. And then it was a great experience, just being able to learn from him, me being an aspiring coach, play for him and learn from him, the friendships I made, but then just being able to share so many awesome experiences with your dad and be able to catch up on moments that you maybe missed in high school because he wasn't able to see all of my games in high school because he was traveling with his team and things like that as well. So great experience and a lot of awesome memories, and won a lot of football games, 3 conference championships we won when I was a player there, and very blessed for the 5 years I had at Virginia Tech playing.
And then lastly, Coach Beamer, it took you 11 years to be on his staff, right? Like, did you want to kind of go at it on your own, so to speak? Because then you spent 4 years on his staff, and then ultimately has led to this job. And then what kind of advice does he give you these days also?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Nothing against any son of a coach that immediately goes and works for his dad. More power to him. That's great. I didn't. I didn't want anyone to ever say, Shane is in coaching because his dad's the head coach at Virginia Tech, or the only reason that Shane got a break was because his dad's the head coach at Virginia Tech. Now, I'm not naive. I know my name has opened doors for me to get opportunities, but when you're a young coach, when you get that opportunity, you better take advantage of it, or if you're not any good, it doesn't matter what your last name is, you're not going to be able to hang around. So that's exactly what I did. I didn't want to go work for him. I wanted to get out. I wanted to learn from other people. I'd been around my dad's program at that point for 22 years. I knew how he did things. I wanted to go learn from others and see how other programs do things. And when I did it, it was one of those, okay, I'll probably go GA or work for another program for 2, 3, 4 years, and then I'll just come back to Virginia Tech. And it was 11, like you said, and I was very blessed to be around some great places during that time. Georgia Tech, Tennessee, got an opportunity to work for Sylvester Croom at Mississippi State, and then Steve Spurrier hired me here at South Carolina. Wife was happy. We had kids. They were born here in Columbia. So it was one of those, the longer I was gone from Virginia Tech, I don't want to say the less of a desire I had to go back, but I had a pretty good thing going in other places as well and whatnot. So that's exactly, what it was. Went back and spent 5 years with him before he retired. And I'm so thankful that I was able to have those 5 years with him before he retired and be able to be a part of the last 5 years, especially the last season he had as the coach at Virginia Tech, is something I'm so blessed and grateful to have been able to experience. And then advice, it's not so much football and X's and O's and stuff. It's more, just understanding what this role entails. This chair that I sit in, it's a lonely position, unless you've actually sat in the chair as the head coach or a leader of an organization, you maybe don't realize it. And he's been in that chair. So it's been good for him to kind of understand that. And for him, it's more, after he doesn't say much. Usually it's after a win. It's, hey, they played well. You guys played hard. Keep them going. And usually after a loss, it's you guys played hard, bounce back, and you know what to do. So it's not much, but it's very impactful what he does say.
Shane Beamer, again in his 4th season as the head football coach at South Carolina. The Gamecocks open the season at home on August 31st, hosting ODU. Coach Beamer, we really appreciate the time. Good luck to you and the Gamecocks.
You got it. Appreciate you having me on. Hope to do it again soon.